Hello, psychology classes. I wanted to do a video this week just to walk you through the assignments for the week. So I'm in the week 8 folder. You'll see there's a lot of stuff in here, but you really only need to look at a few things. So first is the assignment for the week. So it's psychological approaches and your theory slide, which I'm going to go over with you. In this assignment, when you click on it, you'll see that there is a rubric for how the assignment will be graded, and then there are two attachments, one that explains the assignment in greater detail and one that reviews the psychological approaches if you need to freshen up on what those approaches mean. But we have been going over them for the past 3 weeks, and so hopefully these psychological approaches are starting to become more familiar to you. But if you need a refresher, I did post a document down here that should help. So those documents are also just, they're pulled out of the assignment, so if you want to reference them outside of the assignment, this is the theory slide assignment, and then these are the psychological approaches, ways to review behavior. Your PowerPoint for week 8 is right here, so if you've attended my Zoom, you've already gone through the PowerPoint. However, if you were unable to attend Zoom this week, please check out the PowerPoint. I've also uploaded a video for how to download Office 365. As you can see, your assignment this week is going to be to post a completed PowerPoint slide showing a pictorial representation of your assigned theory. So if you do not have PowerPoint on your computer, you are going to need to download Office 365, which is free because you are a Sussex Tech student, and download PowerPoint onto your computer so that you can create your PowerPoint slide and complete your assignment this week. So if you don't know how to do that, then please watch this video and download Office 365. If you already have Office 365 on your computer, then you do not need to do this. And then down here, these are the different theory assignments, so per class period. So please make sure that you open the correct class period. So for example, my period 6 students, you're going to open this document and you'll find your name and the theory that you have been assigned. Okay, and so please make sure you check this correctly and closely. I don't know why those are all down here, and you might need to fix that. All right, but yes, please make sure that you check this closely so that you know which theory that you have been assigned. And again, each class period has their own Excel document, so period 8 should be right here. And there you go. All right. All right, and then period 1, 3, 5, and 7, so you can get your periods. You can get your theory assignment there. Okay, so as far as the assignment, let's go over this. Let's go over it in greater detail. So first of all, now that you know where to find your assigned theory, you're going to go look that up, and you're going to create a one-page informational PowerPoint slide that uses the following criteria. You will only use pictures to completely describe a minimum of 3 different aspects of your theory. Okay, and if you don't understand your theory, then again, use your resources. Please use your textbook. You can use your graphic organizer, the 1-2 notes graphic organizer that you submitted and turned in last week. Last week. You can also use the assignment that are the ways to view behavior document that I uploaded as a helpful way to practical approach to looking at these different theories. Okay, so make sure that you look at different aspects of your theory and represent those with pictures. The only words on your slide should be your title. So if you were assigned behavioral psychology, you can have behavioral on there. Or behavioral psychology. If you were assigned humanistic, put that on there. Sociocultural, put that on there. Psychoanalytic, so on and so forth. But that should be the only words that are on your slide. You should not have anything else on your slide. Your pictures should be in color, and you should use a collage of pictures that covers the entire slide with pictures and does not go over one slide. So I'm not looking to see just 3 pictures on the slide. I want to see an entire collage. When I look at your PowerPoint slide, I'm like, wow, that really represents biological psychology, or the biological theory. All right, and so I want to see a wonderful collage, and I want to see your creative side. This is a summative assignment, but I chose this week to do this as your summative grade for ending our unit on theories and approaches to psychology, as opposed to doing a quiz or a test. I thought you guys would enjoy this assignment more, and that this might be a different way of assessing how much you knew and understood about the psychological theories. So as far as your rubric goes, you're getting 2 points for having the title on your PowerPoint slide. You'll get 3 points for having no other words besides the title. Accuracy of illustrations is 6 points. You'll get 2 points for effort, and I will be able to tell if this was a last-minute assignment that was completed and just kind of thrown together, and there's maybe like 3 or 4 pictures on the slide, or if you really did a nice collage and really covered everything. I'll be able to tell. Color and neatness are 3 points, and lastly, and most importantly, was the psychological approach that you were assigned, was it clearly conveyed through the pictures? Does it show that you understand your approach? And so your total points are 20 points, and again, this is a summative this week. All right. I would like to go over the rubric with you also in a little greater detail. So as you click here into the assignment itself, here is the grading criteria. Okay, so again, your title. If you have the title, you get 2 points. If you include a title, but the font and the background choices make it hard for me to read, or you make it super small, then you might only get 1 point. If you leave the title off, you get no points. As far as words, no words except the title. You get 3 points if you only used pictures and the 1 title words represent your theory. You'll get a 2 if you included 1 word beyond the title and or some of your pictures have words on them, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute. You'll get a 1 if you included 2 words beyond the title and several of your pictures have words on them, and you'll get a 0 if your slide has 2 or more typed words. Really should say 3 or more typed words. All right. Accuracy of illustration. So this is where you're getting the bulk of your points from. So you get 6 points if all images throughout the slide are accurate and there are no factual errors representing your theory. A 4 if most of your images are accurate, but there is 1 image that might be inaccurate. A 2 if the images are generally accurate, but 1 image is clearly flawed or inaccurate. And a 0 if images are confusing or contain more than 1 factual error. Effort, you'll get a 2 if I can see that you put apparent time and effort into your visuals and it shows extreme attention to detail and is free of errors. All right, and again, that your slide is completely covered with pictures. A 1 if it looks like you put some time and effort into the slide, some attention to detail, and or there may be a few errors. 0 if there looks like you put no time or effort into the product. Color and neatness, a 3 if all of your graphics are attractive, size and colors, and they support the theory. All images also need to be age and school appropriate to get a 3, so please do not post any inappropriate images on your slide. A 2 if a few graphics are not attractive, but they all support the theory, and they are all still age and school appropriate, and that might be like if some of the images are blurry or hard to see what they are, or they're too small to kind of make out. You'll get a 1 if the graphics are attractive, but do not seem to support the theory and are not age or school appropriate. So if you post some inappropriate pictures, you could get a 1, or you could get a 0 if the graphics are unattractive and they detract from the content of the slide. So if overall I see inappropriate stuff, you'll get a 0 for the color and neatness. And lastly, was the psychological approach clearly conveyed? So a 4 here if the slide pictorially clearly conveys your psychological approach and demonstrates full understanding and knowledge of the topic. A 3 if you demonstrated a good understanding of the knowledge and topic. 2 if you kind of loosely convey your psychological approach and it looks like you have a basic understanding. And a 1 if your psychological approach was not clearly conveyed and your understanding and knowledge of the psychological approach seem to be lacking. All right, so that is how you get your 20 points. All right, so as you can see, most of it is just, you know, following directions, including the title and no other words, using colors and attractive pictures, coloring your slide. So you can really easily get a good A on this assignment. And again, it's your second summative of the marking period, and so I'm really hoping to see really good grades on this, and that the summative grade can give a boost so some people whose grades they're maybe not so happy about, or some people who are borderline in between, you know, maybe a D and a C, or a C and a B, and this might give you the nice boost that you need to go up another letter grade. Okay, so that being said, I do want to show you how to use PowerPoint quickly. Okay, so I'm in PowerPoint now and I'm ready to begin my assignment. So first thing I want to do is go up here to New Slide, and I'm going to select the slide that says Title Only. All right, and then from here, this is going to prompt me right here just to put my title in, and Title Only is all we really want. I'm going to, for an example, do the biological approach today. All right, so biological theory. Or you can put biological approach, either one. From here, get creative with it. Have fun. Make sure I can read it, but you know, you can center it. You can change the color. You can change the font. So if you want to make it look like a chalkboard handwriting, you know, whatever you want to do with it. And you can resize this, okay? It doesn't, you can put it, whoops. You can move it and put it in the center of your PowerPoint. You could put it in the bottom corner, you know, wherever you want to put this, you can choose, okay? Again, it's like a poster collage. Now, we have to go ahead and we have to add in our images. So if you remember biological theory, what comes to mind? Hopefully you're thinking of the human body. And you're thinking of the way that the brain and the nervous system and our genetics and hormones and DNA and how all of that can affect, potentially affect our behavior and our relationships. So go up here to Insert, and then under Pictures there's a little arrow. Click the down arrow and we want to search for online pictures. You actually already did this in Word when you did your vocabulary sheet and you had to insert pictures onto your vocabulary chart. It's the same concept. So over here it opens up this window and you're searching the internet for images. So you don't even have to go to Google and save them onto your computer. You can just search right here in PowerPoint. So let's start with the brain. So type in the brain because that's what comes to my mind first when I think of biological psychology. And you have all kinds of images. And again, this is up to your creativity. What works for you? Just remember to stick within the criteria of the fact that we don't want words. Okay, so I like this big blue brain. So I'm going to click on that and click Insert. Now it goes here and it's wild and it's crazy and takes up my whole slide. Well, I don't know that I want that. I remember that Mrs. Wright said she wants lots of pictures and not just like 3 big pictures. So I can move my brain over to here. You can actually go ahead and delete this text box off of here. Oops. Okay. Alright, so I've got a brain on here, and then let's see, I'm going to go, I also, when I think of biological psychology, I think of genetics. So let's see what images I get with genetics. Alright, so clearly if I chose this one, everybody would know that I'm representing genetics here, but I am not supposed to have other words. So let's see if I can find, these are DNA strands, and I think everyone will know that these are DNA strands. So I'm going to select this one. and go to Insert. Okay. And you know what you can even do if you're really, really fancy? You can do some really fun things, and you can kind of send this to the back up here. See your picture formatting. You can reorder your objects. Check that out. And so I can make this biological theory on the top, drag it to the front, and then click OK. And now it's sitting on top of my DNA. So I could even make that like a background if I wanted. Oh gosh, why do I keep doing that? Well, I was trying to get rid of this little text box here. Oh my goodness, but I don't seem to be having much success with that. Alright, well, if you can't remove your text box, because mine seems to be tied to it, then don't worry about it, okay? But yeah, you could use this as kind of like a background, but again, we want more than just one image, so, but you could do something fun. Here. Maybe we change the background on this so that it stands out and pops. Maybe we do it white now. That's still a little bit hard to see. This is right, maybe won't be able to read that. So let's try like a really dark blue. Does that pop then? That's a little bit easier. We can move it up here to a light space. It's a little bit easier to read. Or maybe we move it down here. It's much easier to read. Alright, so there's our biological theory. And then what else do we want to add? What else do you think when you think of biological approach? We talked about PET scans. We talked about MRIs. Let's type in MRI and see what comes up. All right, here's some images of some MRIs. So you could select a couple of these. Here's an MRI of the brain. That's pretty awesome. Put that one in there. Let's also put this one, which is an actual MRI. Let's put that one on there too. And then let's just kind of move some of these around. Make it a little bit smaller. You just kind of resize, play around with it, put it where you want it. You can see how we're starting to cover up some of our white space. All right, you drag this one over. That kind of distorts it a little bit. Let's see, what else do we think of? How about the nervous system? There you go, there's the nervous system. Again, I'm going to choose this one because it doesn't have words on it. Go to Insert. And I think this would actually fit really cool right here. So I'm going to make this background one smaller. And I'm going to put my little guy right in between here. And I think he fits pretty good. I really wish I could get this thing off if I go to reorder again. Can I delete it from here? Let's send it to the back at least. You guys are better at this kind of stuff than me, so maybe you guys can figure that out. Get that little text box off of there. But anyway, you get the idea. So now that we've adjusted this picture, I can't really read biological theory too well. So move it over a little bit. Do that. What else do you want on here for biological? So, hormones? How about that? Let's type in hormones. This one might be hard to just get a picture representation. You can do that one. There's some really cool looking ones. These are nice and colorful. Let's use these. And insert. Alright, for some reason it needed to download those, which is fine. Taking a little while. There we go. Alright, so let's resize it. Got a little open space down here. Let's go ahead and resize it and play around with it. So this is pretty good. I really get the sense of biological theory here. You know, you've got the brain, we've got our genetics, we've got hormones, we've got MRIs, and you guys can come up with some other creative things on your own. But you get the idea. This is really what I'm looking for. This is an example. This slide in particular, you could maybe add one or two more things. You could also do something fun to the background. You could try and add some background colors. If you wanted to, but overall this is looking pretty good, and we have represented three different aspects of our theory. We've got the brain, the nervous system, we have MRIs, we've got hormones, we've got genetics. We've actually got 5 different aspects of our theory represented, and so I think if any of your classmates were to look at this slide, they would recognize it for what it is. And so we can just actually do a little test here. Let's see how this works. Play from current slide. And there you go. And that's what it looks like. So this is your assignment this week. Again, I hope you have fun with it. I hope you play around with it. Something a little different from your traditional academics that shows that you understand the theory that you were assigned. And please reach out to me if you have any questions about the assignment or if you're having trouble using and navigating PowerPoint. But I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and I can't wait to see your completed projects.